guys, welcome to my newest video for today. Today's video is going to be my weekly reviews number 2, and this one is just going to cover all the movies that I have watched over the past week. And as I mentioned also, I'm going to be including like TV shows and books and stuff if I happen to have watched any or read them. This week I only finished like one TV show because I kind of slacked a bit on the TV watching this week, and basically that TV show season that I watched was NCIS season 2 because I have been I started a rewatch of NCIS, and yeah, and I was obviously up to the second season, and yeah, it's, even though I know obviously what happens, like especially at the end, it still hurts. It's like, and I was kind of dreading like getting to this point, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to watch it. And then I was basically because I tried to rewatch last year of NCIS, and I never got past the first season because I was dreading going into season 2. Like, it's not season 2 is not a bad season. It's, yeah, I just don't like what happened to Kate, and even though season 2 does have one of my favourite episodes, and that's SWOC, because that is just a brilliant episode, and yeah, it's I guess more poignant when compared with that to the finale Twilight, because when I was free watching it, I was like, it wasn't so much creepy, but just the way it really prophesied that something was going to happen. And I suppose that should have, obviously when I first watched it, that should have been my first clue, but because I think at that time I didn't know exactly what happened to Kate, and because she was my favourite character when I first went into the show, and then I found out that she left, and like the actress left, and I was like, but yeah, even though I haven't started season 3 yet, I'm going to be doing that next week, and which does introduce Eva, who I love. So yeah, but still, Kate's, yeah, it's kind of sad to see Kate go though. So, but that was the TV show that I watched over the last week, and then first up, I've started my Lord of the Rings rewatch in preparation to seeing the third Hobbit film, which I had my ticket for, so can't wait for that. And I watched Fellowship of the Ring and The Two Towers. To be honest, I love both films equally as much. I used to always prefer The Two Towers, like that used to be my favourite, but now I'm really having a hard time just separating them now that I've seen them multiple times. But obviously I haven't got up to Return of the King yet in my rewatch, which will probably be sometime this weekend. But yeah, but they're just epic films, and yeah, because with The Two Towers, I love the Battle of Helm Deep. So that's like just epic, and yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is about it. I've just always loved like that moment, and yeah, but Fellowship of the Ring is still like just as good, like because it started off the adventure. You sort of had the whole fellowship forming, and then you had like, obviously you had them going their separate ways at the end of the film, and I think that sort of carried over in the second one, like because they're all off on different like points, and yeah, so but no, I do love both films, and yeah, can't wait to get to Return of the King for my rewatch. And then I randomly rewatched Monsters Inc. I don't know why, I was just in the mood, and I was like, oh, I want a film that's not very long, and I was just going through it, and then I was like, yeah, this'll do. Initially I was planning on doing like Monsters University and then watching Monsters Inc., like doing them like, back to front, and then I was just like, no, I'm going to watch Monsters Inc., even though I did like Monsters University, but I think Monsters Inc. is just, you know, it's, I just always like it, and because I saw it when they did the re-release of the 3D re-release last year. I saw it like in cinema, and then of course I actually did see it back when it first came out in cinemas over 10 years ago, so because I was like 15 when that came out. But yeah, I love Monsters Inc. I love, you know, oh, Sully is, yeah, Sully, I was just blanking on the name for a second. Yeah, I love like Mike and Sully and Boo, and yeah, it's a cute film, and I like it. And then I continued with my Expendables rewatch and watched the second one. I do actually prefer the second one over the first, even though I do enjoy the first film. But I haven't yet seen the third one. I'm going to be watching it right after I film this, actually. And but I think they actually did expand on it more a bit. Like, I mean, not so much the storyline. Well, actually, there was a stronger story, I felt, in the second one. But, I mean, you don't really watch these films for this, like, you know, the story. It's, like, the action. It's seeing all these 80s, you know, action stars all working together in one film. And, but what I really did love about the second one is that the way they just, made fun of all the other films that the other person had did. Like, you have Arnie going yippee-ki-yay, and Bruce Willis's character going, I'll be back, and it's, and then there's like at one point someone made the reference, oh, who do you think, who's this Rainbow? It's just a lot of fun, and, but I am excited to check out the third. I've heard mixed things about it, but I'm still looking forward to watching it, so. And then I did actually finish off watching Transformers. I watched Dark of the Moon, which I hadn't seen, as I mentioned before, since the cinema. And there's a little story here with the cinema experience. Like, pretty much right up to the Battle of Chicago, when that first started, I was seriously busting to go to the toilet, and I held in for pretty much that entire period of time. So while it was still epic watching that whole fight thing go out, but the fact that the battle was like an hour, yeah, my bladder really didn't like me that much after that. But watching it again without needing to go to the toilet definitely made a huge difference. And I do still like Dark of the Moon. I know people, obviously, well, I think the whole Transformers film people are going to be mixed regardless, like, but I do admit, like, because you do notice a change from the first and second ones, and I think some people have pointed out that it's because Michaela's not there, and I do actually agree with that, because I did like Michaela and Sam's chemistry. Like, they worked really well together, and I don't think the blonde chick who's in the third one, who I can't think of what her name is, she's hot, yes, but I don't think she worked with Sam like just as well. Like, Michaela and Sam, you could believe they were, you know, a couple, but him and the other one, it didn't really feel that real. So, but yeah, I mean, I still like the film, but yeah, it's just I don't know, it's like, I still like it more than Revenge of the Fallen, but I did actually like Revenge of the Fallen. Like, I know a lot of people hated that film, but yeah, it's sort of hard to really explain without going into a full, you know, I'm just sort of summarizing my opinions with this. But then I watched Age of Extinction, which I hadn't seen because I missed out on it in the theaters, and I actually enjoyed it. Like, but I think that's because I went in like with zero expectations, because a lot of people didn't like this film, and I was like, well, my brother didn't like the film because when I got it, he was like, oh, I didn't like that, and I was like, have you seen any of the other films? And he's like, no. but yeah. So, but then a lot of films I like my brother doesn't like, so it's kind of, he pretty much said I don't like it, and then I watched it and I was like, I liked it. So yes, it could have been cut down a bit from the running time, because I did feel they could have easily cut the last 20 minutes. But what I did like most about this film was that it followed up from the events of Dark of the Moon, because when they said they were like doing, you know, Transformers 4 and like Shia LaBeouf wasn't going to be in it and it was going to be like a new cast, and I was kind of like, oh, so are they like rebooting it? And then, because I don't know if that was the talk that was going around at the time, like it was just going to start afresh with like no connections to the previous stories. And then I think, because I think the fallout from Chicago worked really well with this storyline, like, because, you know, the Autobots, they're like enemies of the Earth's government, they're being hunted, there's, you know, and, you know, they're very, like, they're, like, pretty much, there's only a few of them left now, and I think that aspect of the film actually worked, because I was like, oh, I wonder, because when I was, like, reading the back, it was basically, like, you know, when it says on the run from, I think it was like on the run from the government, and I was like, oh, maybe they actually are, like referring to what happened in Chicago, because I basically went into it not knowing what happened in the story, but it, like the film, but yeah, I liked it, and I also liked Mark Wahlberg. I thought he did, like, he helped carry the film pretty well, and, you know, I liked his character, so I didn't really notice the change, like, with the human cast that much, so I think, yeah, he worked well. The daughter, the actress who played the daughter, she was okay, could kind of take her or leave her. I liked the boyfriend, though, he was actually quite funny, and, yeah, we had that whole antics, but, with Mark Wahlberg's character and his character, and yeah, I sort of liked that, but yeah, overall, I did like the film, so, but it's probably not as much as Dark of the Moon, because the way I rank the films, it's like Transformers, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, then Revenge of the Fallen, but I do like all 4 films, so that's essentially it. And then I finally got my copy of Guardians of the Galaxy, so I got to finish off my MCU rewatch, and it was awesome. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I've already talked about my thoughts and that on before, but yeah, it's a great film. It just works. Like, honestly, you wouldn't think it would, but yeah, it's I just love it. It's a lot of fun. Like, it doesn't take itself really take itself that seriously. I love Groot, as I'm sure a lot of people do, but and yeah, and as mentioned before, it has a great soundtrack, and I do actually own the soundtrack to it, because I had to get it, because I actually didn't own any of the songs that were featured in the film, so but yeah, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, and I can't wait for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And then I watched the lone Christmas film that I watched over the past week, and that was Arthur Christmas, and this is just a really cute story about, which I guess the whole magic of believing, and, you know, what's important at Christmas, and I think like, it's not so much, because I actually did think like the whole, like, you know, first bit of a child being missed, and then it's like believing in Santa, and I think that sort of really does carry through, like, and I actually like the character Arthur. I think he's helps sell, like, his character helped sell the story, like his journey to get that present to the girl who missed out, and yeah, it's just, it's funny, it's sweet, it's yeah, and yeah, it's sort of becoming one of my favourite Christmas films, so I've watched it. And then I watched Tropic Thunder, which I had never seen before. I know I'm a bit late to the party in that regard, because I know it was quite popular when it came out, and I actually liked it. It was, I wasn't too sure what to expect, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. It was a quite a different like story, like with the whole actors becoming involved in a war. In a way, it kind of, I guess, had the feel to Galaxy, not so much in the same regard, but the one I'm thinking with that premise is like Galaxy Quest, when they get mistaken for their characters. Obviously not in the same extreme as Galaxy, like, it was a bit more extreme than Galaxy Quest, but I liked it. And I liked actually thought Tom Cruise was quite funny, because I was in this, because I was staring and I was like, I'm sure that's Tom Cruise, and then, because I knew he was meant to be, he was in it, but then I was like, is that Tom Cruise? And then I was like, oh, it wasn't like 100% sure till right at the end, the credits, it's like, and Tom Cruise, I was like, I thought that was him. It was just, it was really quite a bizarre role, but yeah, but I think I liked it. I liked all the actors, you know, Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr., Jack Black. I liked, yeah, like I liked all the actors in it. So yeah, it was a, as I said, quite a different movie, but I still enjoyed it. And then I decided to watch The Chronicles of Riddick, because I saw Pitch Black last year, and then I never got around to watching the second one. I know a lot of people hate the second one, but I was essentially like, I want to see it, and then, because I decided I do want to see Riddick eventually at some stage, because I'll probably pick up the film in the Christmas sales, and then I was like, yeah, I'll watch this. So and then I was like, I just went in with zero expectations, and it really wasn't that bad. And I think that's partly why, but it was just, you know, an average sci-fi story, you know, action sci-fi story. And yeah, it kept me entertained for like the 2 hours, and yeah, it was you know, just a fun way to killing time. And I was actually surprised to see Judi Dench in the film. I was like, this would not be the type of film I'd would have pictured her in. So when she popped up, I was like, so even though I have read that apparently she liked filming, but she had no idea what was going on. So but yeah, that was quite weird, but and probably in many aspects she was probably the best in about the film. But yeah, I still enjoyed it, and obviously not as much as Pitch Black. Pitch Black was still really good, and yeah, so I want to see Riddick, even though, again, I've heard, like, it's not meant to be that great, but, you know, see it for myself and make my own opinions. So that's it for the basic, like, the movies I watched out of my collection. And then the film that I saw at the cinema this week was Horrible Bosses 2, and I really enjoyed it. Not as funny as the first Horrible Bosses, but it still, like, you know, the humour was still there. I love Jennifer Aniston in this film. Yeah, I think her character is one of the best characters. Next to Jamie Foxx's, you know, motherfucking Jones. He's, even though he's not in it as much this time, which I thought was, I would have liked to have seen his character more, but when the moments he did appear, it made it, like, worthwhile, like, with the whole car scene at the end. I loved that. And yeah, it's just, like, those little moments, he sort of, like, again, helped make the film. And then obviously Chris Pine, I really liked his character in it. Even, like, obviously some of it is, you know, quite predictable. Like, you go, oh yeah, it's going to go this way, this is going to happen. It wasn't quite happening how I thought it would happen, but it got to that point in the end. So, like, when they're pulling off the, like, drop and that. But, yeah, I still liked it. So, and I also like, you know, the visits to Kevin Spacey's character. They were quite funny, and yeah, so I sort of liked how they did incorporate stuff from the first film into the second one. I mean, it's very minimal, but you can still tell, like, you know, that it's a sequel. Like, it follows the events of those films, and yeah, and then I liked the whole when they're discussing how, like, to solve their problems, and then, like, like, the first thing they sprint up is murder, and yeah, and then they go to kidnapping, and they're like, oh, I like this a whole lot better, and yeah, so overall I really did enjoy it. I'd probably give the second one, Horrible Bosses 2, about a 7.5 out of 10. I haven't seen that many comedy films like this year. The only other one I've really seen is A Million Ways to Die in the West, and I feel you can't really compare the two. Even if I did prefer this one a bit more to A Million Ways to Die in the West, but yeah, I did, as I mentioned, I did like Horrible Bosses 2, and I thought for a sequel it was a pretty good film. So that is everything. And yeah, so I guess that's it until my next video, and until then I will see you guys next time. Bye!